Hey gang, it's Jeff from Photo Finish Restorations, and on this episode of Muscle Cars and Hot Rods, we're going to get caught up on the 1968 Chevy Camaro, so check it out. Gang, as you can see, it's time to get back on the 68 Camaro. I don't really remember where we are in the videos, but let's go ahead and talk about what we've been doing today and yesterday. We've gone ahead and, let's see, the motor and transmission was put in the car, and so the front end was pulled off. So basically what we've done is we've gone ahead and refit the front end of the car because we want to make sure that we've got all our details taken care of before we start mocking the car. So that means we got our door to quarter, our fender to door, our hood areas, we've got our deck lid fitting. We've gone ahead and thrown bumpers on because we put quarter panels on. We want to make sure we're good there. And in fact, we started looking at this car, and as far as I can tell, the only original outer skins on the car are the roof, the deck filler, and the driver's door. This has been skinned. You remember we put the fenders on. Of course, we got an aftermarket Goodmark hood. We've got the Auto Metal Direct quarter panels on. The header and the cowl may be original, but we're not talking about a lot of original sheet metal. As far as fitment, the last few issues we're going to take care of are the corners of the hood kind of dip down a little bit, both sides. So we'll get those straightened out, and then just a little bit in here to work with. You can see I've already started to shape the metal and get it where we like it. At this point, I also like to go ahead and wipe the whole car down because it's been sitting in storage for a couple months while we worked on the Firebird, and you know, we've pushed it from here to there, touching it with our hands. We've got a couple cats around the shop. It might have jumped up on the car. Anything, once it's in storage, it's good to go ahead and wipe down the car. So I took our wax and grease remover, wiped the car down, and then I took a water-based cleaner and wiped it down after that. You can see we've got our OER Repop RS grill in the car. I didn't go to the extent of fitting the actuators and the vacuums, but we went ahead and fit the cosmetic stuff to make sure we're not going to run into any troubles come paint. Looks like there's a little bit of gap to take care of, and I've seen this on a lot of RS stuff. A little bit of gap issues to take care of. That's pretty easy to deal with. And then the bumper seems to be fitting real nice. Again, another one where they went through and had all the bumpers and powder coating done before the car's even ready, but no big deal. We just go ahead and mask it off and protect it. And I was kind of looking at the bumper, the chrome quality on the bumper, and it could probably use a re-dipping. A few issues to clean up. So now that we got everything kind of rough fit on the car, we're going to go ahead and start blocking out the car. You guys have seen me do this before. Let's take a look at where we're at. Getting after the roof. Let's see, on this particular car I noticed a couple little bird baths over on the other side and a few dents over on this side. But then we were all remarking about how the structure has been pushed away from the skin. So I kind of got the jack in here. I'm going to start working it so that I can get the arch back into the structure, then put a couple dabs of structural foam in there so it doesn't rattle. Then we've come down the sail panels and around the back side. Everything seems to be blocking out. After we get these top surfaces finished up, I'll probably put the car up on jack stands, and we'll go down the sides, making sure we got nice consistent body lines going, and then also work the panels so that they have a nice continuous flow. Okay, rear bumper is installed. However, I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4 brackets on it, but I'm going to begin blocking down in the lower backs and underneath on the tail panel, so it's got to come off. I don't mind necessarily pulling it off because it seems like it's going to fit pretty good. So I'll go ahead and block. I don't think there's going to be any body work or anything to speak of. This is the first time I've ever gone to paint without completely wiping a panel. Those panels are how they came out of the box, and they weren't that bad. Let's see, we're starting to work on our fitment issue here. Got the general tools, ball peen, 2 files, one of them being a round. Getting after that. Oh, we have the Camaro up on jack stands now. We're getting into the details of everything down low, making sure that we're sanding really good down here. We want our paint to stick real good. Just got an email from a guy by the name of Eric. He's a teacher out in Virginia. I guess him and the students watch the show. That's pretty cool. Always like to hear about stuff like that. Let's see. He's got a 72 Dart he's restoring. We love the A-body Mopar stuff here. I personally own a 72 myself. I guess he came back here, got himself a real good deal on a 72 Dart, and trailered it back to Virginia? I think it was Virginia Beach, and he's restoring the car. So ask about the custom wheels. We put the custom set of wheels on the 72 Dart, my car, and the back spacing on it was a 4.5 inch. So that was a 15-inch wheel, 8 inches wide, and the back spacing was 4.5. But if you watch that episode where I put the wheels on, I believe I said if I had it all to do all over again, I'd have put a 4 5/8 inch back spacing on it. Go back and check the video, and I believe I said that, because it's, man, you get that 26 by 10 on that car, it's tight. So, you know, probably an 1/8 inch would make up a difference. But thanks for checking out the show. Okay, over here sits the 95 Impala SS hood. Since you last seen it, it was getting striped. I clear coated it that day. We let it sit for about 4 weeks, sanded it down, and Travis re-cleared it the other day. And then on the hood scoops here, you can see that they have been cut with 1000 grit paper and worked out and completely polished. This is the first view we're getting of this hood looking like it's completed. So by doing that double clearing on the stripe, I'll give you my word, that thing is straight. You will never see a hint of a line in the reflection of this car. A little dusty now, but you know, can't go wiping it. Seems out sitting in the sun. But that's what it looks like. Okay, like I said, you've all seen me sand a car before, and whenever doing a restoration, keep this in mind. Sanding is a major part of the refinish. You're gonna get bored of seeing it. And so it seems how I just did an F-body, and I just showed stuff about blocking them. I figure let's change it up a little bit so we don't bore ourselves to death. Some of the basics, sandpaper. I use both stick it and hook it sandpaper. Keep my stick it longboard right here. At one point I was using 120 and 180. I know it says 220 and everything, but financial times and whatnot, we ended up going with the 150. Seems to be working pretty good. I don't really experience a lot of shrink back, so we got 150 in here, even though it says what, 120 and 220. Hook it. There's 150 grit on the hook it. Hook it's just the Velcro. I like it being softer. Let's talk about sanding blocks real quick, and I'll show you a couple of differences and some of the reasons why I use them. We'll start off with the hook it longboard block. I've got the hook it block in all 3 sizes. I like to use this, but you'll notice that due to the Velcro, it's a little bit softer. It's a little bit softer block. So where it's not as critical, like along the bottom of a rocker, I'll use the softer block down there. Again, it's not as critical below the door line, especially if this thing gets the RS molding. You know, so I use the soft block there. But up here in the main part of the door, I believe nothing gets a car straighter than using the stick it. The stick it is a hard surface, and we remember the harder the surface, the more aggressive the scratch. But that also translates into the straighter the cut. Okay, we got that, and again, all 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. Durablocks, love the Durablocks. Huge fan of the Durablocks. And when they first came out, man, I went after them. I even got like a 30-inch, a 24-inch. Really went for those. I don't like the I don't like the Durablocks for flat, long surfaces, but they're nice around soft contours. Really helps out the sanding process. Let's see, right here is my angle cut sanding block. This is just an old air file block. I could put a 45 in. I like those in areas like this. I'm able to sand down and get it as straight as I can make it and get in closer to that contour of the fender flare. That's a nice tool to have. This right here is another air file block, and you see this, I took off the air file. It didn't have the 90-degree brakes making it rigid. This thing is flexible. I'll tell you what, that works real well, flattening out the front of this fender right here. It just forms right to the contour. So there it is in a nutshell. I mean, not too informative, but just a quick look at some of the tools. Right here, this brush goes to like a pool table. I use this to wipe off my sanding debris and keep the surface clean so I can look at it. Well, there we are. Pretty much blocked out. Got some filling, got some glazing to do. But car's getting there. Our 68 Camaro will be first blocked not too much longer. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right there. Be sure to catch us on the next one, see what kind of progress we make around the shop. Catch you then.